What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Woodland Hills High School for the 2020 MLK Showcase. Travis Newton here alongside Sam Timbers for Game 1 of the day as the home team, Westinghouse, comes into Woodland Hills High School to take on the Central Catholic Vikings. And we are getting ready to get things started here. We have a good matchup. We had some elite teams last night. We're going to be looking at some teams that are a little bit shorter, a little bit less athletic, but it's going to be some high-level basketball, and we're definitely excited for a long day. Game 1 of 9, and we're not tired yet. We're not going to be tired all day. Sam, we got two good teams here. What are your keys to the game coming in for Westinghouse?
Keys to the game for Westinghouse is to get points in transitions, not to have any turnovers, and knock down shots, mid-range jumpers. Don't always have to settle for the three, penetrate, and then if there's not a layup, kick it out to a spot-up shooter, and hopefully they will knock down the shot. And make sure from the charity stripe that they knock them down as well.
And then for Central Catholic, we saw them come in here. Actually, we'll take a break real quick for the national anthem and bring you right back to the coverage.
Ladies and gentlemen, now let's meet the starters for today's game. First, the Central Catholic Vikings. At guard, a 5'11" senior, number 4.
All right, Travis Newton, Sam Timbers back with you here on the Roxamore Sports Network. Before we get started, we would like to take you through the starting lineups for both teams. And Sam, would you like to get us started with the Westinghouse Bulldogs?
Westinghouse, the head coach, Daniel Wright, and the starters are number 2, Rafiq Sermon, 6'1" senior. Number 3, Troy Lanier, 6'3" senior. 4, Avery Wise, 6'1" senior. 5, Amari Richardson, 6'2" junior. And rounding out, number 23, Pernell Blackburn, 6'1" senior.
And then for the Central Catholic Vikings, starting out number 4, Colin O'Toole, the 5'10" senior. Number 30, Jack Cherkis, 5'10" senior. The star for this team, number 24, Ben Sarson, the 6'5" senior. Number 11, Noah Jackson, the 6'1" junior. And number 12, Anderson Sinkar, the 6'3" junior. So both teams are getting ready here from Woodland Hills High School. And whenever we got interrupted by the national anthem, I was starting to say Central Catholic, it's like they walked into the gym and instantly went to the three-point line for their warm-ups. So look for them to not be shy from three-point territory. They're going to put up a lot of shots. But they also have the big man, Ben Sarson, 6'5". He's going to be taller than anyone on either team. Look for him to be dominant in the post. His coaches told me he has a nice package of post moves. So look for him to work inside and then kick it out once he gets double-teamed to let those shooters shoot.
I have a correction. The head coach of the Gators is Elvis Rogers, I believe. A correction. It's Daniel Wright. It's Daniel Wright. I said it right. But these two programs come in. At one time, Westinghouse basketball was perennial in the city, and they will win a lot of championships. And their football team also as well, and their football team is back. They're 2019 City League football champs. That's good for them. And Central Catholic, we all know about Central Catholic being a perennial powerhouse in football and in basketball too as well, Travis.
Yeah, I actually had it right here in my notes. You mentioned the 2019 City League football champs for Westinghouse. On the other side, Central Catholic 6A Whippeal football champs this year as well. So we have football teams battling it out on the basketball court tonight. It should be an interesting game for game 1 of day 2 of the MLK Stand Against Violence Showcase, as we are just seconds away here from tip-off. Get our day started for the 9 a.m. introduction game on day 2.
Yes, and we was enlightened on last night on some great games. Now we seen some athletes, some quality athletes, some big name athletes, as Baltimore Poly was back-to-back champs as well, and they came in and they put on a show last night.
Yeah, between Baltimore Poly and Sunrise Christian, we definitely got a show for us last night. But we are ready for the 9 a.m. show here from the 2020 MLK Showcase. It'll be Westinghouse leading things off with the ball and getting set up into their offense. It looks like Central Catholic will settle down into a 2-3 zone to get things started. And no shyness there. Instantly jacking the 3 was Rafiq Sermons. But an offensive rebound and the ball back to Westinghouse.
So Central Catholic settles in the zone.
Now dishing it inside, kicking it out, looking for the 3 once again, but they're going to pass up on it. Nice possession here. We've had some back and forth between shot clock, no shot clock. This is a Whippeal matchup, so they're going to go ahead and turn the shot clock off for this one. And another 3 jacked up by the Bulldogs, and another Westinghouse offensive rebound, and maybe a little bit of a turned ankle there by Troy Lanier, but he seems to be okay, striding it out.
Yes, I'm glad you brought clarity about the shot clock and not having a shot clock, because last night it was, but now there isn't one today.
And now after 2 offensive rebounds, nice bucket there by number 4, Avery Wise. Finally get some offensive production going, and here comes Central Catholic on the run. Their all-star unable to finish with the right hand, and now back up on the follow, Anderson Sinkar getting the first deuce for his team and tying it up at 2s.
Both teams comes out in the press too, full court press, right from the door too as well, bringing pressure, trying to get some turnovers and some points of transition.
And not quite a full court press, but definitely pressuring right when they get to the half court line, trying to force a aired pass or 2. Now good ball movement for Westinghouse, but has it stripped away. Coming fast on the break is Jack Cherkis, but blocked from behind, and that ball goes out of bounds. Nice chase down defense by by Sermons.
Yes, that was good defense. That was a good hustle play to get back.
Looking for the alley-oop there was Ben Sarson, but instead a turnover for the Vikings of Central Catholic. So we'll see if they switch it up from that 2-3 zone throughout the game. We see Westinghouse in man defense and a nice baseline drive. Kick out the corner 3, 23. Blackburn sinks it. First 3-pointer made for either team, and that extends the lead for Westinghouse 5-2.
So that was a nice shot, nice release. Nice assist too as well.
And a buttery finish there for Ben Sarson, up and under with the right hand.
So Central Catholic comes out in a half-court press. Westinghouse is running a full-court press.
Westinghouse letting it rain down from 3-point territory. They've hit 1 of 4 early on. Couldn't get that one to go. So 5-4 now the score with 5:16 in the first quarter of play.
So this is a little bit of early basketball. It might be a little rusty.
And the bucket in the foul for Ben Sarson, getting fouled from behind after the nice dish from his teammate Noah Jackson. We actually saw Westinghouse settle into a 2-3 zone as well in that previous possession. So both teams deciding to go with the zone defense, which means there's a good chance we're going to see a good bit amount of 3-point shots. It's the best way to beat the zone if you can make them. And Ben Sarson sinks that free throw and gives his team a 2-point lead, so some back and forth action early on.
So number 3, Troy Lanier is a big guy. He must be a point forward bringing it up. You know, back in the day, he would be down low, but nowadays they have them kind of guys out top.
Yeah, it's really how the game has evolved. We see point guards in the NBA like Ben Simmons, Luka Doncic, and even LeBron James now playing the point guard position for the LA Lakers. So you really aren't confined to having a short player at the point guard anymore, which is really nice for the evolution of basketball. So another made three-point shot for the Bulldogs. Central Catholic looking to answer, going in tough is Sarson, and they're going to call a traveling violation. He's in disbelief, wanting the foul.
That was good defense right there on Ben Carson. He tried to drive to the lane.
Oh, wow, they're actually going to give him a foul on that one, not a traveling violation. So that will be the first foul of the day on Ben Sarson.
So they gave him a foul on that play. Well, I didn't see it, Travis, but nevertheless, he got called.
I don't think anyone saw it. The fans were in disbelief. And, oh, a nice-looking three-point shot. Colin O'Toole finding the distance. Now a high screen. Looking for the pick and roll, not too effective against the 2-3 zone. You're not going to see too many screen and rolls that work, but they're going to try another three. Number 2, Rafiq Sermons. Oh, gets the lucky bounce up and in. Nice shot by Sermons. He's found the touch early on.
Yes, he has.
Let's see if Sarsons can answer. No, he won't. Long off the rim. And now back on the break are the Bulldogs of Westinghouse. Westinghouse going to try another three. This one way long.
So we had the big guy that made the move inside and kicked it out to the corner, but missed the shot.
Here comes Central Catholic fast on the break again. Fake to three to take a three, and a nice dish down on the baseline. Getting the bucket is Anderson Sinkar, 6'3" junior for the Central Catholic Vikings. So some back and forth action. These teams seem pretty evenly matched. Westinghouse shown that they can hit the three. Let's see if they can continue that prolific shooting as we continue through this game.
That was a nice drive and a dish inside. Get the guy to make the shot on that play. You don't always have to settle for the three. It's penetration, look for the layup. If not, kick it back out. And Westinghouse are chucking up the threes, as my co-host just spoke about. Let's see if they can keep dropping them.
And we see both teams settling into that 2-3 zone, choosing that as their main defensive strategy. And one thing we haven't seen from either of these teams that is really the key to breaking that 2-3 zone is getting the ball inside the middle, inside the paint. We saw it there for the first time on that dish down after the baseline drive. So look for them to get maybe a high post roll to the foul line, get it in the middle, and then dish it down in those openings of the 2-3 zone. But once again, we see Central Catholic coming out, and there looks like a three-quarter court press. Just a light press, getting their hands up and forcing some long passes from the Bulldogs.
Yes, they're coming out three-quarter press, and the way to beat that press is to go over the top.
Oh, and a nice-looking shot there from Troy Lanier. That was the first time we've seen him stroke it, but that looks smooth from the foul line jumper.
Yes, he looks pretty good there. He looks comfortable with that at the mid-range jump shot.
And we do see that with a lot of guards. They struggle from three-point territory, but just move them in a couple feet, and it seems like it looks like they have a different shot. We see that with Kyrie Hainsworth on the Woodland Hills team. He's really struggled from three-point territory this season, but coming off the dribble right around the foul point line, he's almost perfect from that spot. So for some shooters, it just depends on what your spot is. Some people aren't comfortable from three-point range, but bring it in a few feet and you're clutch.
And the mid-range jumper seems to be almost forgotten about because everybody wants to shoot a three. But again, just as you alluded to, some of them need to go back to that because that's their game.
So another O'Toole, it'll be his brother, Jameson O'Toole, and if that isn't the most Irish name I've ever heard. So it'll be Westinghouse once again getting back into their set, and it looks like we have some man-to-man defense now coming in for Central Catholic, trying to catch them off guard and apply some high pressure above the perimeter.
Yes, they came out to man-to-man after the timeout.
And sometimes you can just see the energy of a team change when you switch from that laid-back 2-3 zone and go into a tougher man defense. Nice offensive rebound and drawing the foul. It'll be Avery Wise, the 6'1 senior, heading to the line for the pair.
Yes, when you come out to man, it's personal. You're taking it personal. You know, you and I, mano a mano, I got to lock you down or I got to put a move on you. And so, as you just alluded, you'll see the intensity step up.
So Wise will clank the first free throw. A 3-point lead here for the Bulldogs of Westinghouse over Central Catholic. And Wise will split the pair, missing the first, and then hits the second. So now a 4-point lead for the Bulldogs. It looks like Westinghouse will play a little game of anything you can do, I can do better, as they now move into the man-to-man defense. So both teams choosing to switch it up, maybe get a little bit of aggressive nature in what has been a purely offensive first quarter.
And the Bulldogs are being very aggressive, playing the passing lanes, tipping the balls, almost getting a turnover, but Central Catholic has recovered.
So Central Catholic now working into their 3-man weave, basically just dribble handoffs, trying to get the defense to move their feet and hopefully open up some passing lanes and catch people off guard. Pump fake on the 3. Now they get a nice look. O'Toole from deep. Looked good, but went off front iron. As we're just under 20 seconds here in the first quarter, a nice dish down inside, and they're going to try another corner 3. That one finds iron as well. And now the Bulldogs going to slow it down for the last shot as we're under 10 seconds.
As we heard Coach down your right barking out the play. Turnover.
So a turnover here for Westinghouse. We haven't seen many of those from either team. 0.4 left on the clock, so not enough time left for a heave, as he'll get it off and hit the netting up here on the ceiling. So through one quarter, Westinghouse Bulldogs lead over the Central Catholic Vikings, but it's been a nice back and forth game. They lead 16-12, as we'll take a quick break here and get ready to start the second period of play here on the Roxamore Sports Network. Hello and welcome back to the Roxamore Sports Network. Travis Newton here alongside Sam Timbers. Second period of play for Game 1 of 9 here in Day 2 of the 2020 MLK Stand Against Violence Showcase. As we have a couple subs now checking in. We have 33 for Central Catholic. And Dante DePonte, one of the trainers for this team, told me to look out for this kid, number 33, because if he makes one, he's probably going to make 5 more. Very clutch and pure three-point shooter in DePonte. Also checking in will be number 21 for Westinghouse. That'll be Jason Rodriguez, the 6'3", and just a freshman. So back into the man-to-man offense goes Central Catholic, applying some nice pressure all the way out to the midcourt line. Some contact inside, the ball lost, and now here comes Central Catholic on the push. They had numbers initially, but coming inside with the right hand and a block going to the line for 2 will be Ben Sarson, but he seems to be in discomfort there on the floor, holding at his left hand.
Ben Sarson looked like he could be a big-time player for Central Catholic, as he went to the lane aggressively. He'll be shooting 2. Ben Sarson.
So that, luckily, an offhand that seems to be in discomfort for Sarson. So the righty having some pain in the left hand. He's still holding on to it and grimacing. Didn't affect his first free throw as he sunk it.
Yeah, he did fall awkward after the play and out of bounds. But he looks to be okay.
Sarson 2 for 2 from the charity stripe after getting up slow with the injury. So 16-14 now the score. Central Catholic Vikings trail by 2.
6:49 in the second period before the half.
3 off the mark, back iron, long offensive rebound. Nice look inside. And the dish by Lanier gets it to his teammate Avery Rise to the for the bucket and extending the Westinghouse lead.
That was a nice assist by Troy Lanier. Finding Rafiq Simmons down low.
Now we're going to get a carry on Sarson. Picked it up to pass it and then just put it back on the ground. So one of few turnovers for both teams. We haven't seen a lot of turnovers and we haven't seen a lot of fouls early on, so that usually makes for good basketball.
Yes, they're letting them play this morning.
A ball tipped away and goes out of bounds, so back-to-back turnovers for Central Catholic and Westinghouse gives it back to the Vikings.
Yeah, Rafiq Sermons was a little bit upset about that. Thought he might have got a foul, but his coach said, don't talk to the refs, just play ball.
Now Central Catholic's going to take a 3. DuPonte, they told us to look out for him, but he can't convert on that one. Working hard inside as Sarson gets 2 offensive rebounds and puts it back for the pair.
I thought it could have been an and one on that play too as well. But again, we said they're letting them play.
And going fast, breaking down on the opposite side, Rafiq Sermon zigzagging through the defense of Central Catholic. He draws a foul, and now will go to the line for 2 shots.
That Rafiq Sermon is a little quick guy there, looking to push the play, looking to try to get a points on transition.
Sermon's unable to hit the first, and yeah, as you mentioned, definitely showing off a little bit of speed. Looks like he has a little bit of slot receiver in him.
Yes, so it'd be interesting to know how many football players are playing basketball here, for these respective schools.
For a 6A school like Central Catholic, sometimes it can be hard to tell. As many students as they have, you don't really have to share athletes between sports, even though a lot of them do.
For a small school like Westinghouse,
yeah,
many of them probably are football players too as well.
And Lanier trying to force the issue, turns that one over on an arid pass out of bounds. So consecutive turnovers here for Westinghouse will give it back to Central Catholic. They trail by 3, 19-16 with 5:14 remaining here in the first half of play.
As we spoke about, there wasn't a lot of turnovers, and then right on cue, there have been a couple back-to-back by Central Catholic.
Now a 3-point attempt for the Vikings. That one's off the mark, went wide right. Kick out. Sarson thought about it, now takes the shot and buries it.
Ben Sarson looks like a good player. That stroke right there, nothing but nylon.
So maybe he needed a little bit of a bruise on that left hand to get his game going, as he's been perfect from the field since. Sarson will hit the deck. Sarson hits the deck, and another foul on the Vikings. And we see him lining up at the free throw line. We'll see who's going to be taking the shots. It looks like Lanier coming in now late. That's now 2 fouls on Sarson. He got that very confusing offensive foul early on in the game that really no one saw but the referee. And now catching the second one, trying to take a charge on the other side, and instead gets called for the block. Once again, splitting the pair is Westinghouse. So now coming back on the offensive side, a tie game here. First tie since we've been at zeros with 4:26 remaining. A very competitive game here early on with some nice offense. Oh, and a great look inside. That was number 11, Noah Jackson, feeding it in to number 12, Anderson Sinkar.
That was a nice dribble drive penetration. Found the big man down low, dished it in. Nice assist and a nice finish for Central Catholic.
So Central Catholic hasn't had the lead in a while. They get it here, 21-19. And answering right back are the Bulldogs of Westinghouse, getting another nice dish inside and the easy 2.
That was a nice play by Rafiq Sermons with the pass and the assist.
Now Westinghouse pulling a page out of the Central Catholic book and working that three-quarter court soft press. And it looks like they will go back into that 2-3 zone. Screen on the near elbow.
So we have a tie ball game here with 3:30 left, 21-21. Central Catholic against the Westinghouse Bulldogs.
And we're going to get a traveling violation, trying to draw contact and just shuffled his feet off the jump stop. So once again, we'd like to thank you for joining us here on the Rock Some More Sports Network. The 9 a.m. game, we got our coffee ready to go for a day full of games, 9 in total, running from 9 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. So a lot of elite level high school basketball talent will be here on the main court all day on the Rock Some More Sports Network. We look forward to being with you for the rest of this awesome weekend.
Yes, and we know that this means more than basketball. There's a lot of lives was lost within these communities, and even some of those other schools that comes in may have lost some lives there too as well. So it's stand against violence, and they're taking 1,000 pledges from children right here to stand against violence.
And really a great job by Ron Corsi bringing in schools from areas affected predominantly by gun violence and racial violence, such as places like Baltimore, Philadelphia, teams from around Pittsburgh. It's really just great to see the diversity of teams come in here and really represent their states, their teams, and really their way of life. It's a really great thing to see.
As far as west is Kansas, and as far as south in the Carolinas has came in for this tournament, as my co-host just alluded.
And hopefully we can continue to see this tournament evolve, move more western, more south, more north, wherever you want to go to find teams that can come in here and participate. It's definitely a great image for the Woodland Hills High School. So after another turnover by Westinghouse, here comes Central Catholic out of control on the break. Now they pull it out and settle down their offense. A brick house off the glass on that shot attempt. Now coming back fast on the break is Rafiq Sermons, 6'1" senior, off the mark on the shot, and here comes a fast break 3-on-2. Some fast-paced action and a wedgie in there on the rim. Gets it stuck between the rim and the backboard, so that should be a jump ball, but instead they're going to call a foul, so it'll be O'Toole going to the line for two.
I didn't see the foul. I was looking at the wedge, the ball getting stuck. I didn't see where the foul came about. But Rafiq Sermons has to gather himself when he drives to the hoop on the offensive side. He's quick and he's penetrating, but he's not gathering himself on his shot.
O'Toole on his first free throw finds net. So a true back and forth game here in the early goings. 2 minutes left in the first half. And after that made free throw, it's a 23-21 2-point lead for the Vikings of Central Catholic. They've done a good job of staying in this game early on, and now they find themselves with the lead.
Yes, these two teams seem to be evenly matched. Interesting to see who's going to pull away.
Get a new player in the game now for the Bulldogs of Westinghouse. It'll be Malik Harris, the 5'9" sophomore guard. Oh, a nice rounded cut going inside to the paint, and another foul, and 2 more free throws coming for the Bulldogs.
That's Rafiq Sermons, who'll be going to the line, 6'1" senior.
So we've kind of seen the game plan change for the Bulldogs. We saw a lot of three-pointers taken in the first quarter. Now in the second quarter, it seems they're trying to go to the rim more. That may have been a message from their coach telling them we're taking too many threes. Let's get some dribble drives and some passes into the paint.
Yes, Travis, that's a good look. They have seemed to change, and they've been driving to the hoop, trying to get to the front of the rim, either get a foul, make a play, get a three-point, get fouled and go to the line. And so that's a good call.
Rafiq Sermons will get 1 of 2, so now a 1-point lead for the Vikings. They're going to try a three. The deep ball, nice rotation on the shot, but can't get it to go. An offensive rebound. Back up, and the turnaround jumper is good for Jamison O'Toole.
That's a nice rebound, nice effort by Jamison O'Toole. Turns around, hits the jumper right in the lane. Soft touch, drains it. That brings Central Catholic 25, Westinghouse 22, with 1:03 left in the second period. Before the half.
So let's see if Westinghouse can answer. Down 3, a wild shot there, out of control. And now an over-the-back foul gives it back to Central Catholic, and Westinghouse needs to be careful as they're building up some momentum here late in the second period.
As we say, Central Catholic has the mo right now, and so Westinghouse has to answer that. Three-quarter press by the Bulldogs.
So checking in now is Purnell Blackburn, making his second appearance of the game, almost over and back. Nice pump fake inside, tries to draw the contact and will get the bucket. Anderson Sinkar, a really mature move there down in the paint, composed himself, pump fake, got the defender on his feet, and then took it right into him.
Yes, he gathered himself very well, took his time, got the rebound, put it back up, and now we have another turnover on the Westinghouse Bulldogs.
And this Central Catholic fan base getting into it behind us. They're excited with the play late in the second as yet another turnover for Westinghouse, and now numbers fight for the ball down in the paint. Now they're going to pull it out, saying last shot, but didn't get the message. Pulls the three, jacked up, and goes out of bounds. And Coach Brian Urso not happy with his player there as the whole team was yelling last shot, and he went ahead and jacked that three.
Yeah, he didn't like the call. He didn't like the shot either. So with 9 seconds left here,
chance for Westinghouse to change the momentum with one shot. A nice crossover by Sermons. Kick out, corner three, up, and no good. So as we end the first half of play, a very competitive game. The score is the Central Catholic Vikings 27 and the Westinghouse Bulldogs 22. So we're going to take a short break here on the Roxamore Sports Network and bring you right back to the halftime report. We'll see you then.
talking until I'm back up there. When I'm back up there, we'll be good. But as of right now, we got no choice but to keep talking. We gotta, it's called improvising to keep the show going so we don't lose viewers.
No way we can talk for that long.
All right, he's coming at you. Let's do it. Turn the mic off.
This is Roxamore Sports Live here at Woodland Hills High School, Woodland Hills campus in Churchill, PA, where we are here for the 2020 Woodland Hills MLK Weekend Stand Against Violence Boys and Girls Basketball Tournament, where we have a myriad of talent coming as far as from the West in Kansas, as far as the South and the Carolinas. We know this is bigger than basketball as well because a lot of lives was lost. There's a mural outside the gymnasium where you can see every kid who lost their life to gun violence. And also there's pledges being taken that 1,000 kids are looking to get 1,000 kids to sign a pledge one by one to say that they are against violence too. And also the visiting schools can write their child's name down on there if they know somebody who lost a life, and we will post that up in the outside the gymnasium too as well. I'm Sam, the man Timbers, with my co-host Travis Newton. And so Travis, what have we seen thus far from the game just now?
So far from this game, we've seen a lot of back and forth action. They seem like some really competitive, evenly matched teams. In the first half, we saw Westinghouse really willing to shoot that three-point ball. In the second quarter, their coach really settled them down, but it may have been to their demise as they were hitting those three-point shots, and now they trail by 5 points. And then on the other side, the Central Catholic Vikings, they've really been the same game plan throughout on the offensive side. Attack the rim, kick out, baseline drives, kick it down into the post. It's really been Sarsens that's dominating for him. He's doing a good job of taking the ball to the basket, working through that defense. And then on the defensive side for both teams, we've seen them switching back and forth from 2-3 zone to man, just trying to keep the opposing offenses on their toes, keep them guessing. But that's basically been the highlights of this game so far. It's a 27-22 lead for Central Catholic. And now we'd like to take you through the games that we're going to be seeing here on day 2 of the MLK Showcase here in the main gym. So right now we have Westinghouse versus Central Catholic. At 10:30 we have Albert Gallatin versus Latrobe. That'll be another big-time Pennsylvania matchup. And then probably the best team we've seen so far in this tournament, Baltimore Poly, will be taking on Greater Beckley Christian, followed by Math, Civics, and Science out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, will play against Mount Lebanon. Then we have Newtown versus Chester. That'll be at 4:30, actually at 3 o'clock. And then at 4:30, Woodland Hills, the host team, against Moon High School. At 6 o'clock, Kiski School versus Taze Valley. And then Penn Hills versus Butler. And we end the night with a great high-intensity matchup with St. Benedict and Bishop Laughlin. So a lot of basketball on the slate this evening. And we're ready for it as we are just halfway through Game 1 here today.
And if you love basketball, if you're a basketball junkie, this is where you want to be at. Woodland Hills High School, to see some great talent, some great athletes, some great coaching too as well. And this is the Roxamore Sports Network, and we're providing it for you. If you can't make it on a snowy day, just punch in roxamoresports.com and check us out, where you'll see a great production program put forth displaying great basketball here at Woodland Hills High School. This is the 220 Woodland Hills MLK Weekend Stand Against Violence Boys and Girls Basketball Tournament. I'm Sam Timbers with my co-host Travis Newton.
Well, we have the chance about 2 minutes before the start of the second half here at Woodland Hills High School. I'd like to recap the events from yesterday. We got things started in the opener of 3 games. Sunrise Christian coming out of Wichita, Kansas. They took on the Carolina Basketball Academy from North Carolina. It was competitive at the start, and then after the first half, Sunrise Christian, the 5th-ranked team in the nation, pulled away. And then in the second one, we had Woodland Hills against Gateway. That was a whippeal matchup. Woodland Hills actually lost to Gateway in their first game in overtime. They got to answer here, won by 12 points, I believe, against the Gateway Gators. And then in our final game, it was Baltimore Poly running all over Bishop Walsh out of Cumberland, Maryland. So a lot of great talent that we saw on day 1. I'm sure we're going to see even more today. Looking forward to all the matchups we have throughout the rest of this weekend. So we're going to go ahead and take one more quick break here with 1:20 remaining on the clock before the start of the second half. We'll be right back on the Roxamore Sports Network's coverage of the 2020 MLK Stand Against Violence Showcase.
Like, 1 minute. 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 1 min
Welcome you back here to the Roxamore Sports Network. The buzzer sounds, so we are ready to start the second half. Before we do, we'd like to mention that this game is brought to you by Cager's Custom Artwork. Get your custom logos and artwork done for your home business with Cager's Custom Artwork. You can find them on Facebook at Cliff Cager or give them a call at 412-915-6873.
And this is Roxamore Sports Live here at Woodland Hills High School, Woodland Hills campus in Churchill, PA. We're about to start the second half between Central Catholic and Woodland Hills with the score.
We haven't even started the second half here, and already a discrepancy of whose ball it is to start the second half. But it is a 5-point lead for Central Catholic, 27-22. So after much discussion, it will be Central Catholic coming out with the opening possession and getting things started here in the third quarter. Westinghouse will start out in man-to-man defense.
I'm looking for Ben Sarson to exert himself a little bit more in the second half, as well as Troy Lanier for Westinghouse.
Actually, scratch that. It will be a 2-3 zone. They're just playing it a little bit looser than they did in the first half. Looks like they're trying to trap in the corners, as baseline drives from the corner has been the strength for Central Catholic. So a good game plan coming out of the first half for Westinghouse coach Daniel Wright.
So Westinghouse packs it in.
And we've seen a couple of three-pointers hit by Central Catholic, but predominantly their points have come in the paint and on mid-range jumpers. So definitely not a bad strategy to pack it in and make them beat you with the three-point shot, as they already have a 5-point lead. And as you see most of the times when offenses come in to see a new defense, takes them a little bit of time to get adjusted to it. So a nice long possession here for Central Catholic, and a nice offensive rebound by Ben Sarson, and the putback is good for two.
Ben Sarson, the senior, 6'5", grabs the rebound, does a jump fake, goes up and under, and goes strong to the rim. That's a nice play by Ben Sarson.
And Sarson, once again, looking like he's in some discomfort. This time a lower body ailment is hobbling him as he contests at the rim, a foul. And it will be an offensive foul going back to Central Catholic.
Troy Lanier drives in and gets the foul. Got a little bit aggressive.
So not a hot start here for Westinghouse, giving up the bucket on the offensive side after a nice long possession and then getting called for the offensive foul. So a 7-point lead for the Vikings, 29-22, 6:13 in the third. Good job splitting the double team there by number 3 for Central Catholic. It's David Dean making a starting role here in the second half. Didn't get much action in the first.
I have a coworker at work named David Dean. I was looking to see if that might have been his son.
So 32-22, a 10-point lead, and a nice-looking shot there by number 5, Amari Richardson. We didn't see much of him in the first half, but gets it going here in the second with a nice-looking shot from downtown, and now a break opportunity for the Vikings, but instead they choose to pull it out and get started into their offense. Sarson was begging for it there in the corner. Now good job cutting in between the defense and kicking it back out. A good-looking offensive possession here for the Vikings as Sarson rises up above the defender and tickles the twine, as our co-host Craig Thomas says, gets the trifecta to go.
Yes, I alluded earlier that Ben Sarson needs to step up, and I believe in the second half he's starting to heat up, starting to show his prowess and who he is as a star player for Central Catholic.
So now Westinghouse working it around the perimeter. Another out-of-control shot there by Rafiq Sermons, and a strong rebound by Sarsons, and he's looking to push the momentum. Sarsons, they're going to give him another open look. He felt good about it, but backing away in disbelief as that ball didn't go in, and an arid pass. Sermons needs to slow down his game a bit, and coming back is Central Catholic. Nice poke by Sermons. Ball out of bounds. Will stick with the Vikings.
Ben Sarson has the heat check as he takes a couple threes. Hit the first one, just missed this one, but also pushed it up two as well in transition. Hit out of bounds by Westinghouse Bulldogs. Oakland Catholic ball. Central Catholic ball.
Malik Harris checking into the game for the Bulldogs, and a nice lob on the inbounds play. And Daniel Wright, the head coach for Westinghouse, can't be happy with that one. You never like to see a score on the inbounds play. And just too easy for Ben Sarson on the lob in the paint and putting it up with the right hand. And now on the other side, just out of click here for Westinghouse. Sarson coming on the offensive run off back iron, and a nice rebound by Lanier, as we're going to get a timeout called here by Daniel Wright for Westinghouse, as his team finds themselves down by 12 points halfway through the third period.
And so Westinghouse calls timeout, trying to slow this thing down as Ben Sarson has imposed his will on the Westinghouse Bulldogs, stepped it up here and early on in the third period, and making his presence felt, as he is Central Catholic's star player, and he's playing exactly like that.
Yeah, Sarson's all over the court today. We were told coming into this game he's really going to be the one that moves this offense, and you can tell he does it with his three-point shooting. He does it inside, and he does it on the offensive glass as well. We've seen him very active as a glass, and no surprise that he has 22 points already with just a few minutes left in the third period. So this timeout winding down for Westinghouse. Daniel Wright, the head coach, relaying his message to his team. They have come out slow in the third period. It's either they came out slow or Central Catholic made some nice adjustments at the end of the first half and has really came out in command to start the second.
And this game is being brought to you by Wilson's Night Out. Come to Wilson's Night Out, not just for a night out, but for experience of Caribbean cuisine, happy hour, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7, with specialty drinks. Looking for that certain room to host parties, meetings, social events, receptions, repasts, and more.
So coming off the timeout, unable to capitalize on a made bucket for Westinghouse, so coming right back in Sarson's. He's feeling good, like that three won't get it to go. And you can tell Brian Urso, the head coach for Central Catholic, gives him free range to do basically whatever he wants offensively. There's no real set offensive plays for the Central Catholic team, so find your own shot, take it, and most of the times he's going to make it in another offensive charge. This one called on Malik Harris.
Yes, kind of pressed his way in and was trying to get the shot, trying to force his way in. Didn't work, couldn't create his own shot, tried to make his own shot. Was called for the offensive foul.
So Rafiq Sermons checking back in after getting a word with his coaching staff. See if they can, he's a very fast student athlete here, and we see him moving nice down the court, but sometimes out of control. So just to slow him down a little bit, still use that speed, but not rely on it. Oh, and a nice look ahead. Avery Wise with the left hand. Thought he got pushed in the back a little bit, but it was just soft contact, so they're going to let him play through it.
That was a nice assist by Rafiq Sermons, looking up, found a streaking player in Avery Wise, and gets the bucket.
So last time we saw a breakdown on the offensive inbounds. This time they dump it into O'Toole around the arc. Nice spinning move, but they're going to call a traveling violation. I didn't see it. It looked like he looked like he kept his pivot foot, but we will get the travel, so a turnover. It brings it right back to Westinghouse.
I didn't see it as well, Travis, but I see great defense by Avery Wise as he come running up, and as he spun out, they called the travel.
So possession will go back to Westinghouse. They find themselves in a 10-point hole with 2:30 remaining in the third period of play here from the 2020 MLK Showcase. And a foul called from across the court, and Harris will be going to the line for the pair.
Foul the Vikings, number 2, Jamison O'Toole.
And Harris has been trying to exert himself since he got in, trying to go to the rim, trying to make something happen.
So Harris getting his first point of the game, showing a nice looking shot there from the free throw line.
With the left hand touch. As we say, the left-hand puppy.
And right after we hype up the southpaw, he clanks that one off the left side of the rim. Rebound to Central Valley. Looking to answer here on the offensive end as they have a 9-point lead. And that pass off the mark, off the hands of his teammate, number 20, here for Central Catholic. Not seeing a 20 on their roster. Now trying a three-pointer was Sermons. That one way short off front iron, and now back on the push are the Vikings of Central Catholic. Oh, a nice cross-court pass. The three is pure. Jamison O'Toole, the Irish kid, sinking it from downtown.
That was a nice stroke by O'Toole. Sets up, gets the pass from across the court. Catches it and ready to shoot.
And I'd like to see more of that for Westinghouse. Troy Lanier has shown he can make the tough shots. As we have one come our way.
My co-host Travis, as the ball comes over here in the press bench, he has a great reaction.
How about that reaction
His
speed,
reaction
though,
hits
with
that
the
ball.
offhand?
So I didn't see it at all. It came right past me, and I seen him hit it. That was a great reaction right there.
That's a good way to wake yourself up for the 9 a.m. game, as we do have a spill here. And now a foul called.
So this is Roxamore Sports
Possession
Live.
will stay with
Woodland Hills
Westinghouse.
High School and Woodland Hills Gymnasium, where we have Central Catholic 40, Westinghouse Bulldogs 30 with 1:15 left in the third period.
So here we go, going close to the backcourt to get that baseline inbounds. Number 2, Jamison O'Toole, who we just saw hit the nice three-point shot, has 3 fouls now as he goes hard to the basket. Tried to Eurostep, and now way out ahead is Lanier going up with the left hand, drawing contact, and will go to the charity stripe for 2.
I thought Lanier should have went to the hole with a little bit more authority. He tried to go with the puppy left, tried to get it in, got some contact, but I thought he should have threw that one home.
So a 10-point lead, chance to make it just 8 now for the Vikings. Lanier rattles in the first one, so makes it 9 with 56.3 under a minute here left in the third period of play for the opening game at the 2020 MLK Showcase hosted by Woodland Hills High School. Once again, the host team, Woodland Hills, got a big win last night against their rival, the Gateway Gators, and a nice push by Lanier as he slips. Good hustle by Lanier as we get a play away from the call there. So we're going to get a timeout called by Central Catholic. We'll go ahead and take a short break here on the Roxamore Sports Network and bring you right back to the third period with just 42 ticks remaining.
So this is Roxamore Sports Live at Woodland Hills High School Gymnasium, and we have a timeout here in the gym. And so this is the 2020 Woodland Hills MLK Weekend Stand Against Violence Boys and Girls Basketball Tournament here. And we have a great game between between Central Catholic Vikings and Westinghouse Bulldogs. The score is Central 40, Westinghouse 31 with 42.3 left in the third period. I am Sam Timbers with my co-host Travis Newton.
Yep, a 9-point lead now for Central Catholic. Westinghouse doing a good job of clawing their way back into this one, showing a little bit of offensive prowess. And I'd like to see him get Lanier going a little bit more.
Yes, I would like to see him get a little bit more, even in the inside game, the post game too as well. We know he plays the point forward, We know he can be outside, but I'd like to see him inside too as well.
24.
So now on offense is the floor general, Rafiq Sermons, dishing it inside to Lanier, thought about the give and go. Lanier turnaround jumper off back iron. Nice offensive rebound by Malik Harris. Can't convert the three-point play, but will go to the line for two.
That was a nice, strong rebound by Malik Harris. Double fake, tried to get the shot. Got fouled, shooting two.
Malik Harris, as he did the first time, will hit the first free throw. So clawing back into it is Westinghouse, now just an 8-point lead for the Vikings with just 9.4 remaining on the game clock. So given an offensive rebound here, it will be Central Catholic holding for the last shot. Hitting them both there. And now some full court pressure to kind of rattle them here before the shot clock expires. With 3 seconds left, O'Toole puts it up. That one no good. Battle for the ball, but it will go out of bounds. So at the end of the third, a 7-point lead for Central Catholic. They lead 40-33. And Sam, we've seen back and forth. We've seen Central Catholic come out with the lead. What does Westinghouse need to do to keep clawing away? Because we've seen them get some nice offensive production.
What they have to do is crash the boards on the shots as they're getting offensive rebounds and going back up. Also stretch the passing lanes as well. Gamble on some shots, looking to get some turnovers and get some easy buckets in transition because they look to be very athletic as well. And also I would like to see Troy Lanier inside the paint a little bit more. He has the smaller player on him, number 22 for Central Catholic. I would like to see him post up, impose his will down low and get some easy buckets inside the paint.
Yeah, I agree with you. And in the second period, we really saw the defensive pressure turn up for Central Catholic. It's been a little bit lackluster in these last few possessions of the third period. So look for them to turn that up once again if they want to keep this lead. Because Westinghouse definitely has some scorers, and they found that they're finding success on the runouts, especially with Rafiq Sermons and his superior speed. See Sermons rocking the Puma shoes, have been making a comeback in professional and college basketball. Haven't seen Pumas on the feet of basketball players in a while. Sermons pull-up jumper, nice looking shot, buries it.
Buries it with a hand in his face, pulls up, hits it. Yeah, just as you alluded to the Puma shoes. Also, a lot of basketball players wearing low cuts too in this day and age where we wouldn't be caught dead on the basketball court with a low shoe.
My ankles would definitely have to have a conversation with me if I was wearing shoes as low as some of these players. Oh, and another pull-up, pop and drop. Can't get that one to go after a made bucket. It's a 7-point lead for Central Catholic, and here comes Ben Sarson's Euro-stepping smooth with the right hand off the glass and gets the bucket to go.
Ben Sarson with the Euro step, steps in with the long arms, puts it up with the right hand with the right hand layup, and he's imposing his will.
Nice dish from Sarson inside to number 21. Jason Rodriguez, but Rodriguez unable to hit the bunny, and now Ben Sarson gets a three to go and tells them all three of these. And just when Westinghouse had the momentum, here comes Central Catholic on a nice little run off the Ben Sarson three. Daniel Wright, the head coach for Westinghouse, barking at his team, not happy with their performance coming into the fourth quarter.
I don't know what you would call, but as a coach, I need to make sure that somebody knows where Ben Sarson is, as he has 29 points early in the fourth period. He must, even if you got to run a box and one, triangle and two, or something, because he's on fire.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to mark himself as the leading scorer thus far in this tournament. We saw a very impressive performance yesterday by Brandon Murray for Baltimore Poly. He dropped 34. So Sarson, with a good amount of time left here in the fourth, definitely should be able to eclipse that if he keeps scoring the way he has been.
Yes, that Brandon Murray was a very exciting player as he put up much points last night. This is Roxamore Sports Live, and we'll be right back.
Trouble can find anyone. At Frank Walker Law, we take the time to understand your situation and work tirelessly on your behalf. Hard-hitting representation when you need it the most. A real law firm getting real results.
Hello and welcome back to the Roxamore Sports Network, Game 1 of Day 2 here from the MLK Stand Against Violence Showcase. It's Westinghouse on the offensive side. Ben Sarson cut through the lane there trying to get the steal but couldn't get it. Oh, and a nice dish inside. It was Lanier in there to Avery Wise, and Lanier tells him to keep the change. And now a foul called far, far away from the basket.
That was a nice drive by Troy Lanier on a dish to Avery Wise as the offense runs through Troy Lanier.
So sideline inbounds. Ben Sarson had a player wide open down on the opposite side of the bucket. Sarson coming in with the right hand, airballs it. It was tipped away. He gets his own rebound. And now fast on the break are the Bulldogs of Westinghouse. They have a player wide open in the corner. They had a 3-on-1 and couldn't convert. Now some sloppy play here in the early goings of the fourth, back and forth, and here comes Sarson's on the other side. Now Sarson's padding his own stats, misses the easy layup.
Gets the offensive rebound. He's done that twice in each possession.
Now an air ball by Lanier. He's going to say it was a pass as Avery Wise caught it in the air and put it in for two. Back to a 10-point game with 5 minutes left.
A lot of sloppy play, a lot of turnovers. Going back and forth.
Going in uncontested was number 3 for Central Catholic, David Dean, but had it stripped away at the last second. So the ball out of bounds and a baseline inbounds coming for Central Catholic. O'Toole wide open from downtown. Maybe too open as he choked on that one. It falls short off the front of the rim. And now pulling up for the three, Rafiq Sermons. An ill-advised shot there by Sermons on the fast break. They had numbers, but chose to take the three-point shot and not what his team needed down 10.
We had 2 air balls back-to-back, both players, but Sermons had the numbers, decided to pull up, missed everything.
Now coming in strong with the left hand is number 11, Noah Jackson for Central Catholic. The Vikings a record of 8-6 on their season, looking to move to 9-6 with a win here. So Jackson goes to the line at a chance for his first points of the game and rattles in the first shot. Jackson 2 for 2 from the line, extending the lead now to 12 points for Central Catholic as Westinghouse really struggling on the offensive side. And as I speak, Rafiq Sermons banks it home.
Rafiq Sermons is trying to exert himself. He's trying to take over, trying to get his team back in, into the game with 4:20 left in the fourth period. Central Catholic 51. Westinghouse Bulldogs 41 with 4:20 left.
Colin O'Toole snaking his way through the Westinghouse defense and will draw the foul. Baseline inbounds coming, and they're going to have to lob it up. Sarson's right by the midcourt line. Looking to foul. Now Sarson's coming in with a two-handed slam off of 1 foot. Look out for Ben Sarson's raising the roof and slamming it down on the Bulldogs team.
Ben Sarson sees the lane and goes straight to the front of the rim and throws it home with authority. Now he has 33 points with 3:56 left in the fourth.
So we'll make a little note here. Get interview with Sarson's after game as he, the 6'5" young man going up with ease and throwing it down with two hands. And now as we come back on the other side, Westinghouse going to the line for two. Lanier's really been up and down in this game. We've seen him make some nice shots. We've seen him miss some easy ones at the bucket, and now unable to convert at the free throw line on the first shot. But will buy the second one, sinks it, and now an 11-point lead with just under 4 minutes left here in the final quarter of play from the first game of the 2020 MLK Showcase. Dribble handoff to O'Toole, pass tipped, but keeping the possession is David Dean.
We have a travel call. Number 4, O'Toole, Westinghouse ball. 3:39 left in the fourth period. Central Catholic 53, Bulldogs of Westinghouse 42.
So Ben Sarson, the MVP of this one, now D'ing up Troy Lanier. Doing a good job getting a hand up on him. Dangerous pass with the defender in the passing lane, but it will be the Bulldogs keeping position. Lanier forcing the issue on that one and hits it off the glass.
How are you playing defense, don't see the ball?
We'd like to remind you that there are a number of girls' games going on here in the auxiliary gym. Right now we have Alderdice versus Swickley Academy. You can check those out on the Roxamore Inc. Facebook page. Roxamore Inc. affiliated with the Roxamore Sports Network. So go there to check out the women's basketball action as well.
Back here live, Westinghouse Bulldogs against Central Catholic, Roxamore Sports. As Ben Carson goes coast to coast and padding his stats up as well, get his own offensive rebound again. We have a foul on the play.
And Sarson just saying, I'll do it myself, going up with the right hand, gets his own rebound, unable to convert on the layup, and then an over-the-back foul by Anderson Senkar.
Foul number 12, Anderson Senkar.
And now a foul away from the basket leads to a one and the bonus here for Malik Harris. So it seems like Central Catholic has really cemented their stake at a win here. They lead by 11. Still time left for a comeback for the Bulldogs of Westinghouse. Coming back fast on the offensive break. Nice dish inside to Senkar. A good look and a good finish from the 6'3" junior. And at this point, it really seems like the Bulldogs of Westinghouse are just out of this game. Not in too much of a hurry on the offensive side is a nice take by Rafiq Sermons, but can't get the roll. Now going inside and drawing the foul again is Sermons.
Yeah, he gets his own rebound and goes back up as Rafiq Sermons is trying to assert himself for the Westinghouse Bulldogs. Go to the line shooting 2.
So the lead now to 13 for the Vikings. Sermons taking his time, catching his breath at the charity stripe. Oh, and Sermons touched about every part of the rim, but the roll just unlucky there as it squirts out.
Yes, it goes in and out, almost down in and comes right back out. Coach is telling him to take his time before that shot.
Sermons will compose again, steps to the free throw line, and this time sinks it. So the lead now 12 with 2:21 remaining in the fourth period. Oh, and a dangerous pass, but a good job there by Senkar going up high to get it.
Get back, get all the way back. Pick up.
So now Ben Sarson 1 point away from holding the highest scoring mark in this tournament thus far. He has 33. The mark to beat is 34 as that pass is tipped away. And Rafiq Sermons going into the stands. Ball will stick with the Vikings.
Yes, and Troy Lanier is on Ben Sarson, and he must not leave him.
The inbounds going into the back court to get it was Dean. Nice pump fake now going at the hoop with the right hand. And a nice take coming off the bench there for Josh Reeder, the 5'7" senior, getting some playing time in the late goings here.
It's a nice shot by Avery Wise for the Westinghouse Bulldogs.
And Avery Wise also with a quiet 15 points, the leading scorer here for the Bulldogs. So Toole dishes it off to Sarson. You can tell Sarson's wanting to make something happen on his own, but instead he kicks it away, creates some opportunities for his teammates, and another travel here for Central Catholic as O'Toole gives it back to the Bulldogs.
Travel on O'Toole. Looks at the referee and says, what? He didn't see. He didn't think he didn't travel, but nevertheless, Westinghouse Bulldogs, ball with 1:17 left. Central Catholic 57, the Bulldogs and Westinghouse 45 with 1:17 left in the fourth.
I'd like to remind you to keep it locked in for the post game.
Go.
Sam Timbers and myself will be getting interviews with Central Catholic players and or coaches.
Pressure on him.
It's now trying to work a double team. They get it kicked out. Now a corner three, wide open. Can't buy it, tipped out of bounds. Possession sticks with the Vikings as we're under a minute here in the final quarter of play.
Travis, it looks like Central Catholic's going to get out of here with a win with our first game of 9 here at our 220 Woodland Hills MLK Weekend Stand Against Violence Boys and Girls Basketball Tournament.
Nice take there by number 12, Anderson Sinkar, as Jaden Bass checks in for the first time here for the Bulldogs. And a block called. Trying to stand in there and take the charge was number 15, Josh Reeder. So he'll get his first points and then draw his first foul. Now going to the line for 2 for the Bulldogs is Sermons. On deck for game 2 of 9, we have Albert Gallatin taking on Latrobe at the 10:30 showpiece.
We have a stoppage in play.
And here in garbage time, both teams getting in some of their bench players, getting them a little time here at the 2020 showcase, a commanding lead for the Vikings, 59-46. And a lane violation. Once again, Sermon's just working a little bit too quick as he will head to the bench. And checking in is number 23 in Purnell Blackburn. So no shot clock here, so the Vikings have a chance to hold it until the buzzer going in strong to the bucket. No good, but an offensive rebound. Float game off the mark. And now another offensive rebound, but an over-the-back foul called on the Bulldogs.
So we see Central Catholic has some of their reserves in too as well. So as we call this the garbage time, but these young men need to get some playing time too as well, get some experience, especially at a big-time tournament as this, the 220 Woodland Hills MLK Weekend Stand Against Violence Boys and Girls Basketball Tournament.
So in the waning seconds of the fourth quarter, it's a 13-point lead for the Vikings as another out of bounds will be called. Ball going back to the Bulldogs.
12 seconds. Let's go. So early on, they was evenly matched, and then Central Catholic pulled away with it with a strong performance by Ben Serson.
So as time expires, the final score, the Central Catholic Vikings 59 and the Westinghouse Bulldogs 46. Travis Newton here with Sam Timbers. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some post-game interviews. We'll see you there. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Roxamore Sports Network. Travis Newton here in the post-game presser with Ben Sarson, leading scorer for the Central Catholic Vikings. Sarson dropped 33 points in Game 1 of 9 games this evening. And Ben, a very impressive performance. You got started hot and stayed hot. What was your offensive mindset throughout the game?
We came into the game, we wanted to show some discipline throughout the whole thing because recently we've been a little inconsistent. And, especially in the second half, we did what we had to do.
In a bit of a slow start in the first half, like you mentioned, what was the message from your coach in the locker room?
The first quarter we came out a little slow. We didn't really have the discipline that we needed, and we just kind of came together, slowed it down on offense, got some stops, and did what we had to do on the offensive end.
And late in the third quarter, you saw the lane open up for you. You went up for the two-hand slam. What were you thinking when you saw the waves part there?
Just going to go hard to the rim.
All right. Well, good game today, and good luck throughout the rest of your season. Thanks for joining us on the Roxamore Sports Network.
Thanks a lot.
We'll be right back for Game 2 here on the Roxamore Sports Network. Stay tuned.
This is Roxamore Sports with the post-game show. I'm here with the star player for Westinghouse Bulldogs who had a quiet 15, Avery Wise. Great player, says it's his second year. Avery, how did you feel tonight when you came in? This morning when you came in for the game?
Oh, I just felt motivated. Every day we come in with the intensity, get ready to play. You know what I mean? Whoever wants to play us, we're their big game. You know what I mean? So we just come in here, we just want to give everybody a show. Whether that's our fans that come out and come to support us, or that's our teammates who's on that bench ready to support us every day.
And we know your coach, Daniel Wright, to be a second-year coach. And we also know that he's instilling his work ethic, his game plan. How is he as a coach?
Oh, we got a lot to work on, but, so far it's been good, you know what I mean? So far we just been ready to work, been willing to take in all the knowledge that he's been giving us, and, hopefully it works out.
We know Westinghouse Bulldogs to be a perennial basketball and football program as well. Back in the day, they're trying to bring their tradition back as their football team has just won, was WPL champs, and now the basketball team is trying to do well. I'm Sam the Man Timbers here with Avery Wise, a great ball player, and we'll be right back.
All right.